Compassionate Fridays, the weight of judgment. Judgment. It's a word that lands heavy. A word that can feel like a hammer, or like a hand extended in care. We live inside judgment every day. The glance that sizes us up. The whisper that decides who belongs. The verdict that stamps a life with guilt or innocence. But judgment is not one thing. It's a spectrum. It's a choice. It's a practice. At the individual level, judgment begins in the mind. The quick thought, she's too loud, he's too quiet, they don't fit. Harsh judgment isolates. It builds walls where bridges could stand. No judgment is the promise of safety. It says, you can show up here, whole, messy, human. But no judgment can also mean silence in the face of harm. It can mean ignoring what needs to be named. That's why we talk about kind judgment. Kind judgment is discernment with compassion. It's the courage to say, this behavior hurts. But to say it without stripping dignity. It's accountability wrapped in care. In groups and communities, judgment becomes culture. It's the unspoken rules. We don't talk about that here. We don't welcome people like them. Communities thrive when judgment is paired with empathy. When we say, we hold each other to values, not to perfection. When we choose repair over rejection. When we remember that belonging is not earned by conformity, but by shared humanity. In society, judgment is amplified. It's the stories told in headlines, the stereotypes repeated in classrooms, the labels stamped on identities. Societal judgment decides who is celebrated and who is erased. It decides whose pain is visible and whose suffering is ignored. But society can also choose kind judgment. It can choose to honor resilience, to tell fuller stories, to dismantle stigma instead of reinforcing it. In the legal system, judgment becomes law. It's the gavel, the sentence, the ruling. Ideally impartial, but often shadowed by bias, race, class, gender. The courtroom shows us the sharp edge of judgment. Punitive, final, unforgiving. But restorative justice asks a different question. What harm was done? What needs to be repaired? How do we restore dignity, not just enforce punishment? Judgment, in this frame, is not about erasure. It's about accountability with humanity. It's about remembering that justice without compassion is just another form of harm.
The practice of compassionate judgment. So what do we do with all this? We remember. Harsh judgment isolates. No judgment ignores. Kind judgment repairs. Compassionate practice means cultivating discernment without cruelty. It means holding people accountable without stripping them of worth. It means remembering that every verdict, whether whispered in a hallway or written into law, shapes the emotional climate of our workplaces, our communities, our society. Judgment is not inherently bad. It is a tool. The question is, how do we wield it? Do we use it to wound or to heal? Do we use it to exclude or to invite? Do we use it to punish or to repair? On this Compassionate Friday, let's commit to kind judgment. To discernment that preserves dignity. To accountability that builds trust. To justice that remembers humanity. Because to be compassionate is to judge with care. And to judge with care is to repair the world we share.